You're looking at a canvas nearly 3 meters tall, hanging inside one of the most visited museums on the planet. 2 naked men are locked in a fight so violently rendered that it almost hurts to look at. One has his teeth sunk into the other's neck like an animal. Behind them, a demon watches and smiles, clearly enjoying the show. I saw this painting in person a few years back. What stuck with me wasn't the size or the violence, it was how few people actually stopped for it. Most families moved past quickly. A couple of parents even turned their kids' faces away. That's not me exaggerating for effect. That's just what happened. Here's what makes it stranger than it should be. The painter wasn't some fringe artist known for horror or brutality. Quite the opposite. William-Adolphe Bouguereau built his entire reputation on soft, flawless virgins and delicate nymphs, the gentlest kind of French academic painting you could imagine. Looking at this canvas, it's genuinely hard to connect it to the same hand. It's called Dante and Virgil in Hell, completed in 1850, nearly 3 meters high, over 2 meters wide, oil on canvas, and it now lives in the Musée d'Orsay in Paris. Bouguereau was 25 when he painted it, just out of the École de Beaux-Arts, still trying to prove himself. This wasn't a passion project. It was a strategy. He built it specifically to win the Prix de Rome, the single most important prize a young academic painter could chase in the 19th century. Winning meant a career. Losing usually meant obscurity. So, this canvas became his one shot to get noticed by the people who mattered. Your eye goes straight to the center, 2 bodies locked in something that looks less like a fight and more like a slow, endless destruction. One man's jaw is clamped around the other's throat, his face twisted into something barely human. The second man's spine arches backward in pure agony as he tries and fails to pull away. Off to the side, almost too calm for the scene, stand Dante and Virgil. Dante is dressed in deep red and physically recoils, half hiding behind his guide, his face a mask of horror. Virgil, in white, doesn't flinch. He just observes, steady and unreadable like someone who has already seen worse. And above it all sits the demon, wings folded, arms crossed, grinning like he bought a ticket for this. The sky behind him glows red, almost like the air itself caught fire. Bouguereau's color choices do a lot of the heavy lifting here. Pale exposed skin against black rock, light falling exactly where he wants your eye to land, and nowhere else. It's less like a painting and more like a spotlight aimed at something you'd rather not see. To actually understand this scene, you have to go back to its source, Dante Alighieri's Divine Comedy, written in the 1300s. In Canto 30 of Inferno, Dante and Virgil reach the 10th trench of the 8th circle. This isn't where killers or tyrants end up. This circle is reserved for a quieter kind of criminal, the falsifiers. People who lied for a living. Fake gold, fake identities, fake everything. Here, punishment looks like madness. The damned don't just suffer, they attack each other constantly, biting and clawing like animals that forgot they were ever human. One of them is Johnny Schickie, condemned for impersonating a dead man to steal his inheritance. His eternity is spent as a rabid soul, lunging at whoever is closest. In the painting, that's Capocchio, an alchemist who spent his life passing fake metal off as gold. That crime sounds almost harmless by modern standards. In Dante's world, it wasn't. Faking gold meant corrupting the very process nature used to create it, and that made it one of the deeper betrayals a person could commit. Here's the detail that changes how you read the whole painting. Dante didn't just know about Capocchio, he knew him personally back in Florence. So this isn't Dante witnessing a stranger's punishment, it's Dante watching someone he once knew get torn apart. Now look at Schicchie's hair. Bouguereau painted it a burning, saturated red, a color that's carried associations with fury and evil for centuries in art. Nothing in Dante's text mentions red hair. That detail is pure invention. Bouguereau's way of visually screaming rage before you even process the violence itself. And then there's the anatomy, which is arguably the real reason this painting still stops people cold. Every muscle, every strained tendon, every visible vein is painted with an almost clinical level of accuracy. Shiki's body bends in a way that looks physically wrong. Carpaccio's spine curves back in a shape that reads as pure pain, no exaggeration needed. These aren't idealized bodies borrowed from classical statues. They're studied, specific, built so the violence would feel physically real to anyone standing in front of the canvas. Bouguereau painted all of this to win the Prix de Rome in 1850. He lost. Another one of his own paintings took the prize instead, but this piece earned him something the prize couldn't: attention. Critics were floored by the anatomical precision and raw intensity, qualities academic painting rarely embraced, since the genre usually chased softness over shock. Théophile Gautier, one of the era's most respected critics, called out that intensity specifically. Bouguereau never returned to anything like it. His career became defined by the opposite: peaceful, sweet, pastoral scenes full of gentle light. Dante and Virgil in Hell sits alone in his body of work, a single explosion of horror inside a career built entirely on beauty. Maybe that isolation is exactly why the painting still hits as hard as it does today. It's the one time Bouguereau let something else through. So tell me honestly, what's your reaction to this? I'm not saying that for effect. Standing in front of a canvas this size, in person, is a genuinely different experience than watching it on a screen. If Paris is ever on your list, go find it in person. And if you've already stood in front of it, I want to hear what that was like in the comments.